Africa's time of slavery to Western regimes is over, and the battle for full independence has begun. What happens when a small African country decides to cut the strings of colonialism and take control of its gold, its cotton, and its destiny? In Burkina Faso, they are not giving speeches, they are making history. That's why attempts have been made to eliminate their leader 19 times. Ibrahim Traoré has survived assassination attempts and 2 coups. Who is behind these attacks? Africa is awakening, starting with Burkina Faso. The ongoing revolution in Burkina Faso today draws inspiration from the figure of Thomas Sankara, president from 1983 to 1987, a continental symbol of sovereignty, social justice, and African dignity. Sankara's legacy is one of breaking with neo-colonialism, embracing self-sufficiency as a principle, and reclaiming Africa's resources for the benefit of its people. Under Ibrahim Traoré's leadership, Burkina Faso has begun, in just a few years, to dismantle the colonial foundations that still support many African republics. Africa is a hungry continent, and its heads of state roam the world begging. Today, we are facing the most barbaric and violent forms of neo-colonialism and imperialism. Slavery is still imposed upon the continent through states that control the economies, cultures, and natural resources. Much of Africa remains colonized under a false narrative of independence promoted by the West. Let us remember, Africa also fought for its independence and against apartheid, not just for itself, but in the interest of all humanity. Central banks, currencies, mines, official languages, legal systems, and institutional symbols still reflect structures inherited from Western countries, especially France. Until recently, in Burkina Faso, judges wore colonial wigs in court, school uniforms were imported, and over 50 tons of gold per year were exported unrefined to Europe. That logic changed in 2024 when the country launched the Burkina Faso Postal Bank and the Treasury Deposits Bank, both funded with national capital. For the first time, resources are being managed internally with sovereignty. Countries are cutting economic ties with Paris and withdrawing from any organization led by France. Countries are rejecting the use of currency printed in France. Burkina Faso is ensuring that gold is refined in their own African countries. And countries are entering into agreements with various countries, including Russia and China, to begin building strong institutions where their minerals have added value. The Burkinabe state nationalized 2 of its most important gold mines, Boungou and Guagnon, and inaugurated the country's first gold refinery, which in just a few months processed 142 tons of mining waste and extracted 93 kilograms of pure gold. Gold is no longer exported raw. It is transformed, valued, and stays at home. The same is happening with cotton, one of the nation's economic pillars. With the creation of the National Center for Support of Artisanal Processing, textile manufacturing returned to local hands. Since 2023, school uniforms have been made exclusively with Burkinabe fabrics. Agriculture is also experiencing a renaissance. Seeds, fertilizers, and equipment are being distributed directly to farmers and cooperatives. At the same time, the Bobo Dioulasso Airport has been modernized and the national airline reactivated with a new fleet, strengthening internal infrastructure without relying on foreign agendas. But this transformation is not happening in isolation. In September 2023, Burkina Faso, along with Niger and Mali, formed the Alliance of Sahel States, a confederation that broke ties with the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which is dominated by foreign interests. This confederation aims to realize the legitimate aspirations and unity of peoples who share the same challenges and ambitions. In short, we will share the same destiny. This alliance has announced the creation of its own central bank and a stabilization fund to strengthen regional cooperation and shield against external pressure. The assassination attempts against Ibrahim Traoré have occurred amid a break with old power structures. African leaders have stopped thanking Paris. None of them would have sovereign countries today if the French army had not deployed in the region. Though no direct perpetrators have been identified, tensions are rising with foreign powers like France, multinational mining companies, and local sectors tied to the old colonial order. The transformation underway challenges long-standing economic and geopolitical interests. It is a revolution without permission, one that cannot be explained from European capitals, and that is forging a new path for Africa. And don't forget, like the video and subscribe the channel to keep thinking the world how it really is.